Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. There it goes. Hello, comrades, and welcome to another episode of Under Construction. I'm your host, Ellis, otherwise known as the Admiral. With me, I have a dog on my lap, because he decided he wanted to be up here and will not leave. So, that's the kind of day today is. Let me grab the link and put it where it belongs. Well, I already put it in one place. It needs to go in the Trainz official Discord. Route building. I only have one hand because the other one's on the mouse. Shift Enter, Control V, and I will set that up when we do. Oh, this is not gonna. How am I? This is not gonna work. How am I gonna play not Tetris with one hand? Okay. All right. All right. He's not. He's doing okay. Lafayette, you're being okay. You're a good boy. You're very good. You're very sweet. Poorly. Yeah. Listen. I don't know if it can go worse than last week. Last week was a absolutely dismal showing at not Tetris. Like, it was bad. I don't even think I broke 1,000 points. Or maybe that was 2 weeks ago, but it was recently that I sucked. Oh, did you see that, though? That's a good omen. We're doing it this time. Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Let's see, can I put this? See, in regular Tetris, that would have been easy. That would have been the easiest thing I've done all day. Which, it doesn't say too much. Well, actually, it does say plenty because I spent most of today moving furniture. But I know it's a weekday. I was supposed to be working, but I moved furniture for most of the day because things have been very light at work. Most of my projects have just sort of ended. They all kind of end at the same time because that's what life does to you. It says, here's all your deadlines. They're at the same time. And now I am taking a breather, I guess. I get to catch up on my trainings. Maybe I'll actually go and get my EIT certificate, my engineer in training, which I should have got like 8 years ago when I finished the FE exam, but didn't. No one sort of showed me how to do it. And honestly, I was an adult, and I am an adult, but I was then too. So I probably should have figured that one out myself, but I didn't. So I never got my EIT, and I remember my boss being like, "Hey, what should I put on this? We're submitting stuff for this is going poorly, by the way. We're submitting stuff for a job. Should I put any certifications with your name? Like, what certifications go with your name?" And I was like, "None of them." Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah. No. This is really bad. That's it. That's the end. All right. Let's go build a Trainz route. That was atrocious. That was so great. That was such a fantastic start, and it just turned into an immediate disaster. Okay. That's fine. Let me send the stream link for everybody else. And then we'll actually get started. I don't know what to do. All right, let's give an overview of what's going on. First of all, we are in the Twin Cities of Bellington and South Bellington at the west end of the railroad so far. I've got a whole bunch of stuff to do, but there are 3 big things, like accomplishments we can mark off. One is this area here, this triangle here. 2 is this area back here, including the graveyard, which I did the ground texture on, but I haven't put any graves in there yet. I'm not entirely sure how I want to do that. And 3 is this area over here that is basically almost done. I just need to do this right here. This area, I'm really not sure what's going to go there. Maybe just some trees. Or maybe a couple of farmhouses. So, if we can knock off one of these, like this is going to be the easy one. We can do this right now. If we can knock off one of these today, that's great. If we can knock off 2 of them today, that's excellent. I know we cannot do all 3 of them today. They are fairly large endeavors, and what's probably going to happen is I'm going to bounce back and forth between the other 2 once I get done with this one. Lafayette, you're such a good boy. You're just kind of sitting on me. So anywho, I've been saying anywho a lot, and I don't know if I like it, but it's the words that are coming out of my mouth. And I feel like I need to, like, make a concerted effort to stop it. You know? You learn that you're saying something, and it's just like, oh, that's probably not a cool thing to say for one reason or another. Hello, Douglas. And this is, like, it's not a cool thing to say, not because it's, like, a bad thing to say, just because it's not cool. Maybe it's me becoming a dad more. Maybe it's me reaching my dad era faster. But I'm not ready to be there yet. I'm not a dad yet, as far as I'm aware. Pretty sure I'm not a dad. Can't rule anything out. Because, I was like a lady killer. Just kidding. There was no point where I was a lady killer. Anywho is a fun word. See, I would spell it N-E-W-H-O. Anywho. Like, anyway, anywhere, anywhen, anywho. But maybe spelling it phonetically to set it apart from that is a good idea. Anyway, farmhouse. Let's see what we got. My parents don't like me saying yeah. 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 I have a problem with people saying whatever to me. Just like, oh, it's whatever. Specifically, it's whatever. It's just like, oh, so clearly, like, something is unresolved. Like, I've only gotten the it's whatever from, like, girlfriends who were not satisfied by the resolution to the argument. That's what it's whatever is. And it's just like, no, I know it's not whatever, or you wouldn't be saying that. So, that's, yeah, I'm huge at the Babes Go Wild. Yeah, I mean, Okay, so we got that little house there. I was aiming for a larger house, but I like that house. Let's just put this, like here. And then, yeah, we've got to sort of massage the land to be vaguely flat, because if we don't, it's going to look very goofy. Say yeah instead of yes. Yeah, and yes feels very formal to me, Added some trolley images for you in the thread. Thank you. I appreciate the trolley stuff. It's not going to be relevant for a couple years. It's just, I get the like, hey, I want to do this thing, and I just sort of put it somewhere down on a list. I want to do like abandoned interurban stuff. That's going to be out that way. I want to do like a culturally inspired area, and that's going to be in Ravenbridge, which is way up there. There is so much that I want to do, and it's on the list somewhere. But it is just so far away. I don't even... Looks like a Hero Boy's house. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Have I thought about making a trolley layout dense enough to require a Grand Union? Probably something like that's going to be in Gilson City, because Gilson City, I'm pulling out all the stops. I'm going overboard. There's going to be lots of trolley stuff. There's going to be subways. I'm really looking forward to doing subways. I'm not sure how I'm going to do them, but Kaiserin's working on that bunker route. I'll probably take some inspiration from that. So, it's I am going to do all this sort of stuff. I'm going to do, like, sort of a West Side Cowboy shtick area, too, which that's part of the plan, anyway. Okay, let's do this up to the road here, and then not too much over there. so much I know is this is sort of like slop. You know, it's not very compelling groundwork. It's not very compelling anything, but it is space filling, and as some have said, quantity has a quality all its own. Uh, I don't intend for this area to be particularly beautiful. I in most places, I really don't intend for this route to be particularly beautiful. I know that it's certainly got some accolades in the past from folks who find it pretty, uh, but as much as I appreciate those compliments, it has never really been my intention. Um, I am not really a scenery artist, and I never have been. I've just, I like making stuff look good enough. I like making things look like I'm going from first principles. I like making a route, an area look realistic, and a lot of that comes out as beauty, perhaps because we don't tend to expect that a Trainz route is going to have that kind of attention to detail. Not that level, but that kind. Um, it is the kind of thing where, you know, while somebody might go through and do a lot of minute detailing, and it's very pretty to look at, maybe it doesn't have the same sort of like, ah, yeah, this feels right. You know, it's like, wow, look at those minutia, as opposed to look at this world, and that's sort of what I've been aiming for. I still think the minutia wins though. Like of the two, if I'm going through a route, like if I'm looking at a route, maybe not judging it, but looking at it, right? And someone has put a lot of time and effort into the detail, a lot of time and effort into the actual like, oh shoot, I missed a spot under the bridge. Um, a lot of time and effort into getting getting the world filled in that can be worth a lot more than getting the world right. And I'm not saying you can't do both, but it's tough to do both in the same span of time. Uh, I I think it boils down to the idea that the real world is kind of boring. There's just not a lot going on a lot of the time, and there are large swaths of landscape that really don't have much going on. So, you know, when it comes to a world that's just like all trees, that's what I'm gonna make, and I hope it's gonna look right, as right as a landscape covered in trees can look. But it'll never be a tenth as detailed as a route by someone who really spends time on all of those areas. Uh, Again, I feel like I'm trying to draw some sort of, well, this is an option, but I do this, and I'm trying to justify that and makes it sound like I'm saying it's better. It's really not. And I mean, I think you can do both, and certainly the most skilled route builders among us, oh my god, among us, uh, they do both, right? They have a complete and fully built out world while at the same time uh, putting in as much of the detail as is possible in this game. Hello, Train Street. Yeah, Among Us. Just Vine Boom. Okay, Godspeed on the job search, Mew. Okay, let's do that there. And then you got your truck back. Fantastic. I sent a BR Marine Blue Sterling Single Down Glacier Culture Realistic. Okay. Uh, I've been sending some Sterling singles across the world in OpenTTD. It's been a lot of fun. We've got our OpenTTD server cranking. It's almost 1900, I think. We're in the 1890s, which means there's only like less than a week until we hit the turn of the century. And you heard me right, less than a week. If you're not familiar with how OpenTTD works out in our in our game, it's a very slow moving game. And I like it a lot that way. I like it that I can leave it alone and come back to it. I basically I made an idle game, but it's open TTD, or vice versa, um, and it is certainly something that's got a learning curve. You know, I invite everyone in the server to come and check it out. I mean, there's a open TTD thread in gaming, um, and all are welcome. Right, all are welcome. But there is a learning curve, so be ready to just like try and fail and try and fail and try and fail. Uh, a couple of times, then you'll get the hang of it. You'll know how to make money, and once you know how to make money, line go up. Uh, Again, it's very different than typical Open TTD, which is sort of a competition on how fast can you build. I didn't like that. And yeah, it still does get to that point because you eventually get more money than you know to do with because it's Open TTD. But uh, honestly, I've found that hoarding wealth works great for the end game when everything gets way too expensive. Like having a bunch in your coffers helps you get through the end of the late stage capitalism at the end of Open TTD when everything costs 11 bajillion dollars to run and a train load of passengers nets you $6 in revenue. Um, so anyway, hey, look, we got one done. We got one corner. Like everything, if you go here, right here, and you draw a line out that. Oh, I didn't put any tree. Whatever. And you draw a line out up the river, and you draw a line up the railroad tracks. Everything that's contained within those lines is finished. Sorry, out of my soda. And that is amazing. That's what I like about making this route. Eventually, stuff does get done. And by done, I mean completed, not done as in worked on. Um, okay. Made Emily fall through the ice. How much does a hippo weigh? Enough to break the ice. Hey, Ryan, how you doing? Okay, let's do this here. Yeah, we gotta figure out some houses for this. We got one more block of these to do, and then we got these four, and then we have this big area, these two areas, and the graveyard. That's pretty much. I'm glad to see the route is coming along well. Hey, every Thursday it comes along. Sometimes. Aw. It's very nice of you, Douglas. Uh, all I can hope is to make people smile. This is, again, this is an eternal project. I have no, like, I have no expectation of ever finishing it. It's about the journey. It's about the time that I spend here working on it and the chats that I get to have with all of yous. It is... It's a good part of my week. It's a good enough part that honestly what I should be doing is figuring out things to talk about ahead of time. I usually sort of let myself get guided by the conversation, or by sort of whatever people have to say. But that isn't to say I don't have things on my mind to talk about. This can be as much of a Trainz route building stream as it can be a vlog, I guess. We need to squish these houses closer together. They are way closer together in real life. Let's just do that one. Let's leave a little bit more space between these two, I guess, because that one's under construction. That's the name of the show, also. Sears Bungalow. Always good to see a Sears Bungalow. And sometimes I like to put these in. You know, they travel in groups. They travel in groups to camouflage their something or other. I don't know. Sand people. But I want to, like, every time I go out and look at houses in the real world, in the neighborhoods that I'm trying to emulate, they are much closer together than everything that I do here. Hi, baby. I was hoping that you would show up. I hope your work day is going well. Uh, I know that it's the first of the month, so I assume things are fairly hectic. Um, I'm looking forward to you being home. And also, I'm sorry I was not able to get the sandwich that you wanted because I placed my order before you could get back to me. But don't worry, there's still a bunch of food. I wish someone would make a track that's covered in ice when a train passes over and it breaks. We would need a track trigger. So having tracks change, and this is something that came up a long while ago. We were talking about hello, Comrade Pat. A long while ago, we were talking about could you jerry rig trains to be like could you make railroader but it's in trains, or trains but it's railroader? Is my route like the entirety of the United States? No, my route is totally freelance, pretty much. It's got U.S. vibes, but not really anything beyond that. But that's a cool lighthouse. Um, that's a cool house. Um, Greetings, Ryan the Steam Man. Now we have two Ryans. Um, if 2026 is still here, which I hope he is, miss that man. Um, so let's see here. This is an extremely green house. Should give this greenhouse a greenhouse. Yeah, no, I don't know how. I don't know if there's a rule in the game to. If there's a rule in the game to turn on or off layers, because that would be the way you do changes to the railroad, right? That would be the way you make changes to the built environment in like during a thing, during a session. I honestly have no idea if such a thing exists. It might. I wouldn't be overly surprised if it did, because almost nothing in Trainz surprises me anymore. There is so much stuff. Everyone's always coming up with cool stuff. Um, but at the same time, that's kind of a weird ask, you know? Oh, I want a rule that allows me to change the railroad. And, like, one of the things is, the only thing I could think of was, the only thing I can think of would be layers to change the track. I don't know how you would do, I don't know how you would do the other stuff, like the contracts. And I know train sessions aren't usually designed to be played for hours and hours and hours and hours. Um, I wonder what the speed run is for Tier 5 contracts in Railroader. Like, I wonder. Um, because somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but you have to, like, perform well for an industry to offer you the next contract tier. So you can't just, like, skip a day, skip a day, skip a day, skip a day. Uh, you know, get take out a loan, build the whole railroad, skip a day, skip a day, skip a day, and then just set everything to tier 5, right? Um, you'll be back, but with food. Godspeed, Pat. Um, so like you do actually have to play the game. I feel like because Railroader keeps track of days, you could probably do a little friendly competition. How far can you get in X number of days? Or how many days does it take to get tier 5 contracts? That would be a fun little competition to run. I don't know how long it would take, probably quite some time, but it would be interesting. It could be something to do over the course of, a couple weeks or longer. If you got like two teams together, you could probably run a railroad with 4 people, I think. You can almost run a railroad with 1 person these days with the changes, but with the waypoint system, you could probably run a whole railroad with just one person. It wouldn't run the most efficient, but you could do it. Um, you'd have to keep a lot of balls in there. You'd be juggling pretty hard. Um, Edaville South Station, Tolbrin Peninsula crossover went. Uh, the dog is laying in my lap and he's actively dreaming. He's laying in my lap and he's dreaming. I can feel him dreaming. But yeah, that was a diversion on top of a diversion. Uh, Douglas, I think there are rules for that. I think you can have things like physics changes, like really old rules. Physics changes uh, when it's snowing. Like, hold on. Edit session. Some of this stuff needs to go. I remember weather rule, environmental impact, random season. This is actually very cool. We should do this. Disable environmental impact. With a random weather change every 2 minutes. Enable environment. Ah! Aha! Okay, so here's this. Speed restriction due to track buckling, engine failure due to overheating, derail from track flooding, signal outages, track effort, medium snow. So that's not slipping, but there are weather-related things. And I remember there being some very old ones because I remember there being some sessions that, like in Trainz 2006 maybe, that had the weather as a factor. The signal outages in particular I remember very well. Now, I was not a big session player. If you can't tell, I've always been more of a builder. But there was always some innovation. You can do so much stuff. You can do so much stuff. It's very impressive to me. I'm actually going to scoot this over so I can put 2 driveways side by side. Yeah, and we're going to go over here. If we go down to, like, human level. Yeah. Looking over this parking lot, seeing all the stuff. That's cool. What if we go cruising on down Main Street? Yeah, this feels good. The push pin really sells it. I do feel like I can see like further than I should be able to. Maybe the Trainz character is taller. The Trainz character is much taller than I am. Alright, let's finish up the driveways and go do the fences. Something I want to do is lower this into the ground so the concrete pad is not super apparent. There we go. That's better. Okay. The only thing that's missing is this one. That's going to have a dirt ground. Let's go grab some of my favorite dirt, which is the dirt under the highways, the one I want. And then over here. Now all these towns look the same. All these blocks look the same. Okay. We do so many shows in a row. Okay. Need to grab some fences and start banging out fences. We can get this done in record time. If I don't get distracted enough that I can finish this before the top of the hour, that would be actually kind of good. That would be kind of impressive. Let's just do that to right there. I do like these fences a lot. Like, I really like these fences. They're very cool. Although that's a little weird, but whatever, you live with it. Let me just put in the fence filter, put the fence filter on. Part of me does want me to do a chain link fence. Part of me does want to do a chain link fence around this, which makes sense because it's construction zone. And this feels dense enough. It feels claustrophobic, which, yes, that is not what I'm aiming for. I'm actually going to close this off. Why is it closed off? Make your own assessments. Make some headcanon. Go ahead. You know, I was thinking about headcanon, and I was thinking about fencing in record time with 5 minutes to spare. I hope. I was thinking about the OpenTTD server again. Also, one of the things I want to talk about is the slate truck. If anyone is familiar with that, like sound off, it seems really cool. I have opinions. But you know, point is the slate truck. No, sorry. Point is, whatever I was talking about before I got distracted on the slate truck. Oh, what was I saying? Oh yeah, headcanon. So when I'm building stuff in OpenTTD, and I build like a mountain pass, or I build something, a yard, a junction, it almost always gets named after whatever the nearest town is. There's like a rare occasion where I'll have like 5 Points Junction or Pear Wiggler Pass because we thought that was funny, or you know, it's descriptive of the thing. But there isn't too much precedent for that in real life because usually something else was there that got defined first, that got named first. And I so I was thinking about this, and I know no one here is on the server, but unless you are, in which case sound off. I was thinking about next time, which is going to be in a couple months because of how long this is. Next time that it comes up to make a new OpenTTD server, I might just put it out to the community like, hey, let's make some lore. You know, let's make some really basic lore so that we have like things to name, like reasons to name things after other things. It just seems like a fun thing to do, number one. And like B, it gives me more of a reason to name something in some way. It gives me more of a reason to say like, oh, this is, you know, Dutch Corner or whatever. If we decide that that sort of thing would be a thing, it would have to be paired with like the town naming scheme. That might help. Okay, let's grab a fence like this. And I think I'm going to do something that's reminiscent of my childhood, which is to do that. Intentionally not connecting the fences. I remember there was a little passage about one child wide on the side of a neighbor's garage that connected one street to the next, so you didn't have to walk all the way around the block. And it was a shortcut for me to get to elementary school. And oh man, I remember that so well. I remember sneaking through that little gap in the fence because it was a time saver. It was fun, and you know, it's like, oh, it's the shortcut. You know, as you know, when you're a kid, you find like wonder in everything, and that's fantastic. I mean, never let go of that. Seriously, never let go of your childlike wonder. There's a saying about like growing up means moving past silly things like the fear of being childish, and that's always resonated with me. Like be happy, be excited, be joyous, like have a good time. It's okay to still have childlike wonder and joy as an adult. Okay, this also, you know what? let's leave this, and I'll just plant some shrubs there. And also I will do this, because this neighbor does not really want to see their neighbors, so they block it off anyway, even though there's already a fence there. You know what's going to be in between these two fences? Bees. And, like, rabbits and stuff. They're going to love the space in between the fences. Even though that inner fence is like a, you know, not one that would hide anything. But, you know. Let's look for a really cruddy-looking hedge. Like an unkempt hedge. How about this? That looks so bad. That looks so bad. Okay, that ain't it, Chief. Country hedge. No, that's way too well kept, and it's also too short. Oh, what was that? What if I just do this? Plenty of back-to-back fences in this department. Yeah, okay. Let's actually just close this part off. And also this, because this would be the older fence. Again, more back-to-back fences. We got tons of them. We got them for days. Okay. Okay. I don't really know what to do with these two here. I might just leave them. Yep, that's fine. We're done with that block. I'm good. I'm happy with it. Oh, I wish I had my soda. Okay, shall we do another? I don't really feel like doing another, but shall we do another? Either way, we're going to be doing the same thing. Like, no matter what, if we go here, if we go over there, if we go, you know, to the other little area that needs to be worked on, we're going to be doing the same sort of thing. We're going to be doing houses, we're going to be doing houses, yards, fences, driveways. It's the same deal. The only difference is these blocks are nice and rectangular and the other ones are not. So this is such a low poly house. Well, variety is the spice of life. I was messing around on Railroader before we started, and here I go talking about Railroader again. There's a newish mod that adds the Canadian Pacific Hudsons into the game, and it's a really neat mod. It is very unfinished, you know, it's very early, but it's cool, and I got it anyway, even though it is very unfinished. I got it anyway because I wanted the variety. Now, you know, there's something that recently happened. For those that are familiar with the game, especially with the engine market mod, and the realistic liveries for freight cars mod, which is one of the best mods, like the best cosmetic mod that's out there for that game. I'm going to put this right on the corner, and I'll just put the driveway in the back. Yeah. It adds so much life to that game. But those cars used to clutter up the engine market mod. It used to clutter up the menu of equipment for sale, and there had been like a couple of remedies floated for this, but ultimately I kind of liked it because it really constrained the number of offerings on a given day. Like now there are too many. They fixed it. The freight cars don't show up in the list anymore. The freight cars belonging to other companies don't show up in the list. The horror, I can't buy someone else's car. This just reminds me of the barge bridge all over again. The uh, the freight car mod would make it so that you only had a couple of options. Like, most of the stuff was worthless freight cars. They weren't worthless, but they weren't very useful. You only need to buy a handful of freight cars, excluding logging stuff, over the course of the entire playthrough of Railroader. So, you don't... You're not always wanting that. You see that, and you're like, oh, okay. Like, oh, look, more freight cars. Whoop-de-doo. And instead, oh, what the hell was that? What was... I just saw like a small square house, this one. This, you know what, this building needs a flickering street lamp out front. Am I right or am I right? I can hear the fluorescent flickering when I look at this building. Also, I've been playing Limbo, so I hear fluorescent flickering quite a bit, because I'm towards... I actually have no idea where I am in that game. I started playing on a whim because Regulation Gameplay did a stream of it, where Gavin was trying to beat the game in 5 or fewer deaths in one sitting, which is an achievement, apparently. So, I thought, you know what? I own that game and I've never played it. I own it, I've never played it. So, I should sit down and play it. Like, it's not a very long game. You can beat it in like 45 minutes. I think that's the speed run. But even still, you can beat it in a couple hours, right? I didn't really know what I was... Like, I knew Limbo. Like, I've seen gameplay and everything. And I knew a lot of the puzzles, partially from just watching Gavin play, but also from years of watching other people play, because I thought it was a really cool game when it came out, and that's why I bought it. But it was one of those Steam sale purchases. It was one of those, like, oh shoot, it's on sale, let me get it. And it just sat in my thing. You know what else sat in my thing? Antichamber. Does Antichamber have achievements? I should go and get all the achievements and then uninstall that game. No. No, it does not have achievements. I already beat that game. I should uninstall it. I uninstall games only when I've 100% of them. Only when I know I'm never going to play them again. I never have a reason to play them again. I have enough storage on my PC that it doesn't really matter if I have a whole bunch of games that I barely play installed. I mean, right off the back, I've got BioShock Remastered installed, which I've played 43 minutes of to make sure that it worked. I've got Crusader Kings 2 that I played once. I have DayZ that I have not played in 11 years. 11 years. The last time I booted it was 2014. I have the Master Chief Collection, which I barely play. And these are just things that are installed. I have Railroads Online and Railway Empire 2, which I played once for that stream with Heis. Never again. I have Stanley Parable installed, but I'm trying to get the Don't Play for 5 Years achievement. So I'll get to that. I'll get back to that game. I have played 1 minute just to start it. I have Train Simulator Classic installed, and I haven't played that since 2012. I also have War Selection and Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, which I haven't played forever. Oh, I've got Shogun 2 installed. I've got Rainbow Six Siege installed. And when's the last time I opened Terraria? 2016. That's insane. That is genuinely nuts. I can't believe it's been almost 10 years. Um, that's what we should do. We should make another, like, I should do another Terraria playthrough on the 10-year anniversary of the last time I played Terraria. So next year. Next year. Um, that would be, someone can write this down, June 21st of 2026. That will be the first episode of the next Terraria playthrough. Someone can hold me to that. Someone, you are welcome to hold me to that. I'll make it so. Um, on a different note, I would like to do another single-player game. I don't know what, but the channel has been pretty quiet because we just do the podcast and we just do this. That's kind of it right now. Also, I went and found this garage because I couldn't remember the word for garage. I had that much of a complete breakdown because I was thinking about Terraria. So I would like to do another game, and I'll probably put it to the community. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it an option poll or if I'm going to just make it a regular poll and I'll put out a couple options. Like, what do I want to play? Because everything I do, it's going to have to be with specific goals, right? It's going to have to be with very specific goals in mind. Like, for if I did another Derail Valley playthrough, which is on the table, that's one of the ones I would gladly do. It would be restore all the demonstrators and unlock all of the contracts. That would probably be it. Restore all the demonstrators and unlock all the contracts. That would be, you know, that's completing that game, or unlock all of the, not contracts, licenses. That's beating that game to me, and I feel like that's beating that game for a lot of people. Like, that's just what it is. But I've never done that. I very seldom do I ever do the military contracts, just because I feel like they're, like, I don't feel like it. They're too simple. I want to do something else. Especially when I'm playing with persistent jobs, you know? I think it makes the rest of the game fun enough that I never have to do the military jobs. And a while ago on Reddit, somebody posted what they called immersive mode, I think, which was a series of custom rules to make the game much, much harder and much slower. I found that on realistic difficulty, the game goes by very quickly if you don't bin it all the time, because you get a ton of money for everything. You know, the contracts are like worth 200%. So, like, I like realistic mode for everything except for the payouts. The payouts make the game too easy, and too short. That's just me, but that's the way I feel about it. Anyway, all right, we're on to this again. Okay, fences up. Up to here. So, I don't know. For those of you that are in the chat, I know you're in there. Wake up. The accident wasn't your fault. I'm thinking about, what could I do? What should I do? What would be sort of the single player games for me to play? Derail Valley is one of them. I could do a playthrough of Factorio Space Age, just like, because we did the last Factorio playthrough. That was a lot of fun, and I did play Factorio multiplayer, but I never beat the game. I did not beat Space Age, which feels like a missed opportunity, but things got too complicated. We made bad decisions. We kind of fell off the wagon. It's gold mining simulator. I feel like there's a joke in here, and I don't know what it is. Is Gold Mining Simulator a real suggestion? Is that a real game? Reminds me of Motherload, actually. That was a fun game for me growing up. Sound off if you remember Motherload. Oh, you play it? Oh, interesting. What is it? Hold on. Gold mining simulator. Oh, okay. Okay, interesting. It's one of these. It's one of these sorts. Um, that reminds me of some very old. Have I ever seen the show? I've only seen the episodes with the. I've only seen like. Well, not episodes. A couple of clips that have the dredging barge in it because Wyville and I were on a big thing about the dredging barges after we visited the South Park when I was there and God knows what. The game's based on that show. Oh, okay, cool. It it reminds me of a game I had, and I think we've talked about this before. It reminds me of a game I had, which was like a Caterpillar branded game, uh, and it came with like a rail driver sort of thing. It just fitted over your keyboard and pressed the buttons. It wasn't mechanical in any, or it wasn't electronic in any way. It just reached down to your keys. I remember, I think it had like Velcro straps to hold it to the keyboard. It was a really, it was cool. Uh, but gold mining simulator, it's, it looks, I don't know, it doesn't look super substantive. I would probably get more out of it if I watched the show, I bet. Uh, okay, let's and then I need more kinds of fence. Um, it reminds me of Farming Sim, and Farming Sim I could never get into. It just never grabbed me. Um, which and as well I have like ATS. I have American Truck Sim that also never really like I played a whole bunch of that, but I'm not sure I was ever having fun. Uh, it's sort of a weird thing to say, but I'm not sure if I was ever having fun when I was playing that game. It's uh, they lost the license to call it Gold Rush the game. Damn, why? Um, but I just so much like there was so little thinking involved. It reminds me of Bounty Train. Does anyone remember? I played that game on the channel, and I remember I think I just got frustrated and quit at one point because the saving system was really annoying, and you could there were these like in between stages where it was like a top down fighting thing, and like if you lost a buttload of progress if you didn't save constantly because there was like no checkpointing in that game. That was not a great. I mean, I do blame Discovery Channel, modern Discovery, since it changed like owners from back in my day. Discovery Channel, History Channel, they aren't the same. It's a shame. Um, I don't need more reality schlock in my life. Uh, and I do. Sadly, I must file the Gold Rush show under that. Sort of. I remember I watched Ice Road Truckers as a kid. Ice Road Truckers and Deadliest Catch. Those two were looking back, they're almost like guilty pleasures. Like, they weren't guilty pleasures to me then, but it's like it's one of those things where it's like I can't believe I enjoyed those shows as much as I did because they're the same sort of thing. Oh, Gloria's here. Hi, baby. Um, they're the same sort of thing. Dogfights would be cool. Um, like I don't feel like I'm learning very much. Railroad Alaska. I think I saw like very little of Railroad Alaska. I don't know why I wasn't all over that show. I honestly couldn't tell you why I wasn't. It's like, oh, train. We need Railroad Maine, and it's just the friggin' day to day of the WWF. I would watch that. Oh, well, I'd be in it, but I'd also watch it. Um, um, okay, so these two, and then let's put something here. But yeah, I don't mean to like super dunk on reality television. I don't like being a yum yucker. I'll say that. I don't like being the kind of person that's like, oh, that thing that you like. That was Gloria coming home. that thing that you like, it's actually terrible. Oh my god, I can't believe you enjoy that. It's so disgusting. No, like I totally understand reality TV. Like I totally get it, and I get it even more now. Like some of you know that TJ Scotia Films up there lived with me for a few months, and during that time, I watched more reality TV than I had in a very long time. Uh, what the? I tell me if you can hear that music. Um, but and I realized like yeah, I was entertained. I was entertained. Um, but at the same time, I was like, oh, I get it now. Like that was the more important thing to me was the oh, I get it now. Like I understand that the the purpose of this. It is television. It's a television that's on in the waiting room of the tire shop. It's the it's the lowest common denominator television, and I don't mean that in a demeaning way. I really don't. It is the kind of stuff you can put on, and everyone will be entertained, even me. And when people go, oh, that's that's such like basic crap. It's like, but you would like it. But everyone would like it's so unfair to be demeaning to that kind of television because it's it is what so many of us crave the most, which is other people's drama. You know, uh, and I know I like that. It's tough to find one that doesn't really feel contrived. I think that's my biggest problem. Because a lot of these shows are like stuff is deliberately manipulated to make things more dramatic, to make the storylines more engaging, to make things seem worse than they are or more dangerous. Um, and that's not really a secret, and it's something that I don't really like. Um, Not because it's disingenuous, like not because like I want to rise above it, right? Not because I think I'm better than it, because I'm not. Uh, but because it's not authentic, and I want my drama to be all homegrown and authentic. Um, oh, I put this driveway next to here because I am dumb. I want my drama to be homegrown and authentic. Uh, I have no like opinion on Duck Dynasty. I've never seen it. Um, I think the Gold Rush. I think the Gold Rush show falls under under the umbrella of reality television, at least as much as like Deadliest Catch and Ice Road Truckers uh, did. It is very much a like real people in real situations. Like this is their day job. It is a real situation. Uh, it feels kind of the same to me. Uh, Honestly, I didn't even think of Duck Dynasty when I thought of that. I thought of like when I think of reality television, the first thing that comes to mind is like Love Island. Like that sort of television, like uh, you know, like Big Brother, just like people stuck in a house doing God knows, uh, and creating drama or having drama created for them. It's I stopped watching Gold Rush when the guy who operated the dredges couldn't use them anymore. Oh, see, I didn't want to know there was a sad ending for those dredges. I thought they were so damn cool. Like, genuinely, I love those things. They are really cool. They are really unique pieces of technology. They're also a little bit on the submechanophobia side, because they have like the bucket thing that goes way down under the water. They're in a bathtub of their own creation that is 6 feet wide and 200 feet deep. You know, the dredges are so cool, just as a concept. I wonder how long it would take to drive one of those across Kansas. That is a really random statement, but that's what's been bouncing around in my head ever since I learned about the dredges. Uh, like, he lost the water license for the ground he owned? What? That's crazy. Um, that's that's wild. That's a weird thing to have happen. Man, the law is bizarre. Alright, we're gonna put some hedges in here. Uh, Hi, Bibi.
Hi. Just came here to say hi to friends on the porch.
Can you bring me a soda?
Yes.
Thank you. In where? In here? Are you sure it's not just because you've been walking? I'm comfy. License expired and they couldn't renew it. Lame. Lame. Bummer and lame.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the soda of the week. Are we ready?
No.
Oh, I guess I'll go fuck myself with this bottle then.
Alright. Demonetized. What'd you get?
Orange cream.
Oh, thank you. Can I have a kiss? I missed you. You sure you're not really warm? Because you just look like you're really warm. I love you. That's my wife. I'll open this. Orange cream soda. Not sponsored by Yacht Club, but we love them anyway. Delicious. The bottle, yeah, that's my wife. Okay. All right, we did another block here. We got 2 done. That's nice. We need to figure out the gravestone situation. And honestly, I don't know what I'm gonna do because we've got like 3 kinds of gravestones that are any good, and then those 2, and then oh, these are interesting. Something I need to figure out is what the organization is going to be here. Oh wait, can I get it in a spline? No. Can I go and find one? Hang on, I'm gonna see if I can find one on the download station. Filter. Download station. Type. Or category, rather. Spline. Grave. Nope. Because there's so much gravel. Oh wait, grave space. No. No, that doesn't do it. Maybe headstones? No. No, we got nothing. We got nothing. Okay, well. This is what we got. We got these lines of graves. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, whoops. I already placed down 3. We've got 3 lines, three of those. We've got some more. I see a Trainz Street. Some more of these guys, some little graves there, as well as some other cool stuff. Oh, that's really cool. I don't know how to do this without it being just like the most mundane tedium imaginable. Holy crap. Holy crypt. Uh, and this. Uh, and then we got 1, 2, 3 gravestones, plus this and this. And then we've got all these. These are much larger. Kind of wish I could just scatter them around. This is going to be like doing the, yeah, this is going to be like doing the row houses a bit, because it's just going to be so much of moving and copy and pasting and rearranging. We're not going to do that. We might use this one. Cabo? No, that's not what I thought it was going to be. But these are all the graves that we have to play with, and we have to fill this yard with them, and we have to sort of break them out into something that makes sense. Where are the oldest graves going to be? Maybe back here? Okay. Surveyor 2.0. And we'll be in here for a while, I think. Because I need to make sure that... Yeah, what we've got to do is we've got to make some, like, lines of graves that we like. Nope. This is going to be more difficult than I thought. Lines of graves that we like, and then copy-paste them about 100,000 times. So, you know, like that, and then grab this one maybe. Yeah, I really need to be careful with this. Scoot those up. And then we have some gravestones. We also might want to use this. This seems like it's in the same vein, although I would probably keep this one pretty rare because it is a little bit more standout than the rest of these. Like, it's very clear when it's that one. Okay. Let's just scoot this forward. Let's do the same row. Can we just like offset it maybe? Like this? And then copy this. Okay. So, oh shoot. Nope. Oops, I left one behind. Oopsies! Definitely was not on purpose to break up the pattern. Yeah, and we need to get some stuff on the left side of that. Yeah, and honestly, this little spline with the broken one, like, it's noticeable if you look for it, but it's not bad when it comes to sort of repetition. Like, it looks okay. And with these little gaps, we can throw in some of these other ones. So, with that in mind, I think I'm just going to copy-paste this block here. This block of graves. Or not copy-paste it. I think I'm just going to grab it. I'm going to take it over there, because this is going to be where the older stones are. And I guess I'll face it this way. We're also going to have to put some trees in here. Okay, so that... Yeah, because this is our selection. And, like, maybe every once in a while we can have one of these two. Let's bring these over. I don't know what to do with that giant pillar. That is like where Dracula is. Um, we'll say the people in town that made the gravestones, they either were not very imaginative or they only had a couple to choose from. They were just like, they had a very small catalog. Yeah, we're getting there. The issue is these, the issue is I've made a really distinct pattern here, so I need to slide this over like that way. I need to fill in the middle with things that are not that. What if I turned it around? Because it's like, I want to just fill this in. I don't want to pull 4 different graves. These are the things that make the, these are the things that sort of make it palatable for me to do this. And it's going to be a pretty serious, a pretty serious headache to try to do this over and over and over again without it really looking repetitive. Because we only have so many graves to pull from. In this section, there are only so many that fit this vibe. And honestly, when I'm done with it, I might just copy it and stick it on this side, like turn it 180 degrees. Not only is this a graveyard, an area that is sometimes extraordinarily repetitive by design, it's also way out of sight, like way out of sight. Let's get down to like person level here. You don't see it. It's over there somewhere. You don't see it. You see the hill in the background, which it's nice that I managed to in fact put a hill there, so that did make a positive difference. But there is nothing that is going to bring the viewer eye down here. Maybe this? If you're shunting this, you'll see it, but it's still like 3 blocks away. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. If there was a spline, I would be all over it. I'd be all over it. It would be so nice to have a spline for this. But we don't, so we suffer. And I'll leave some space there, I guess. Let's copy one of these down here, and then let's do this. Oops. Whoops, I didn't want to make them fly. Something else that's in a lot of graveyards is nice trees for shade, so we'll have to do that at some point. The fact that a lot of these are going to be hand-placed is going to lead to the placement being a little janky, and that's probably a good thing. Also, we're short on these guys. They never show up. Yeah, that's probably a good thing. Oops. Ah, I keep holding control instead of shift. Okay. Yeah. It's gonna be spooky. I mean, these are the gravestones with the correct vibes for what we're doing. It's going to be a long and contemplative process. So you know what? I think I'm going to go down a tangent. Has anyone here heard about the slate truck? The electric vehicle, EV pickup truck. It's like a light truck. And it's also, and this seems to be the selling point of it, it's super cheap. It is a relatively short range for what it is, for an EV, but honestly, 150 miles really isn't anything to scoff at. And also, it is like no frills, absolutely no frills, no bells and whistles. I don't think it even has a stereo. It is the absolute base vehicle that you can purchase. And honestly, if I had room in my life for a fourth automobile, I would be buying that truck. It is cheap enough that I could consider it. You know, I'd still have to finance it. Like I don't have that kind of cash on hand, so don't bother robbing me. Uh, but I still have student loans. Uh, but it is it is what so many people have been asking for, and myself included. I mean, I never really like. I understood that you could not. Legally you can't produce a car without a backup camera. I think, and I assume that thing has a backup camera because of it. Um, but for most automakers, it is still cheaper to make a car with all power windows and this, that, and the other because it's parts bin stuff. It is like, oh, we already have designed these components. It's more expensive for us to run a production line without this, that, and the other thing when, like we wouldn't make any money back on that. But this truck, because it's like born out of nothing, it doesn't have those problems. It just is. So, you know, that's kind of fantastic. That's a great opportunity, and I really hope people buy it because this is what like every single week on r/cars there's a conversation like, why don't they just make a version without power windows? I don't need all that. It'd be a really cheap car, and it's like because of those reasons because they already make ones with power windows. So they're not going to set up a second production line for ones without. Like it doesn't make any sense for them to do that. Uh, every week there comes up a thread where somebody asks that and they get the same exact response, and it's like now you got what you wished for. Are you happy? You got what you asked for. You got a vehicle without any frills, and it's a cheap car. People better effing buy this thing. I mean, it's a really tough time to be introducing a new vehicle, like a new vehicle, with no brand recognition, anything like that. I'm kind of excited that it's been getting this much attention because it's a very good sign. Like I've had several different people tell me about it, and part of that's because I was also having those same conversations, not about the thing, but about how I wanted an electric pickup. Uh, and also talking about like the death of the half-ton pickup and yada yada yada, and the death of the small car. So, this is very much exactly what I was hoping for, like to exist, but it's not something that like I said, it's not something I have room in my life for. I don't have room in my driveway for it even. It is, it would be a very much a luxury purchase of like a, hey, I really want to own, I really need a pickup, or like I want to have a pickup, and this is a really economical pickup. I kind of like, I should show my dad this, like not that he would buy one, but I just want to know his take on it. And it's an electric car, and it's reasonably priced, and it's small, and it's a pickup truck that is not the massive like, excuse me, everybody and their mom, everyone and their brother can fit in the cab. It's got like 6 seats, uh, big wheels that go all the way around, about the size of airplane wheels. Uh, no, it's like a normal sized automobile, and it's boxy. It's boxy. I didn't even say that. It is square, and as a Volvo guy, that's a W. Um, Oh, excuse me. So yeah, it is it's sorry, I don't know. I lost my train of thought there. There were things I wanted to say about it. But mostly I just wanted to hammer home like the people better effing buy this car. People better buy this car because it's what people have been asking for, you know? Uh it is hopefully filling a hole in the market. You know, I said I'm not going to make any more of those. I'm just going to make these. Um, it's hopefully filling a hole in the market. It hopefully will sell well. Um, and it's going to be really neat for the people that feel like they need a pickup truck but don't want something enormous. Uh, and also for the people that really like want an electric car, but stuff's too expensive. I could see people buying this, like, I could see people buying this in lieu of any other cheap electric car because it's so inexpensive, because it's so bare bones. Um, okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna go in this direction, and I'm gonna have to rearrange some of this, but I'm gonna go in this direction, but like at the invisible line of right here, I'm gonna stop adding graves, and that's gonna be as far as this area of the graveyard goes, and then we're gonna build in this direction. We're gonna kind of do the same thing. Um, and it's okay if we have some little holes, right? Like that's fine. Let's grab this roller grave. Yeah, so this was the right way to do it. Once we got everything oriented, and I think that was the biggest thing that I was worried about was orienting everything. Um, and once we do that, we can sort of just copy paste, mix and match, make this work. I don't know if we're going to be finishing this graveyard today. This is a lot of graveyard. It is a it's looking to be a huge amount of effort. Not that I didn't expect it to be that in the first place, but I mean, it's a lot of graveyard. I did not think the graveyard was that big. Yeah, I know. When we're looking at it like like this, like a baseball diamond, and we're up in the third deck, it doesn't seem that big. But you go into like the grave scale, and this thing goes on for miles. This is explicitly like designed after the North Burial Ground in Providence, Rhode Island. Um, it's very much a it's very much a hey, we needed a place to put all the dead people, so we're gonna mark out a big area for them. It's not like a church specific area. It's just this is where the graveyard is. um, and that's something that, like, historically it's something that Rhode Island got fairly late, which is why we have all these little graveyards hanging around, like little historic graveyards that people find in their backyards. Every little family had their own graveyard. Also, this is hovering. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. What about apply height? Oh shoot, wrong thing, wrong button. No, what did I want to do? Smooth ground. Did that come up? Now it's not hovering? That's better. No, it's still kind of hovering. Whatever. Yeah, the Dead Zone. Yeah. The Dead Zone would be a great name for a club. Honestly. Or a band. You know, or anything. The Dead, like, it's such a great name. It's a name with some serious, like, potential. So hang on to that one. Absolutely trademark it. Or maybe the Dead Zone is the album. What would be the band that would create an album called the Dead Zone? Um, I'm thinking like maybe if you flip it, Friends 6 Feet Under is actually a good good album name. The Dead Zone would be the band in that case. Friends 6 Feet Under. I'm thinking Friends on Mushrooms by Infected Mushroom. That's a name. Um, a band named Willow Tree. How about that? But God, I showed up to a graveyard that seems ominous. Matt, have you been to a graveyard that does not seem ominous? I feel like it's a kind of run for the course. Um, but yeah, I mean, it goes on forever and ever. Definitely panning across it like this, like, gives me the heebie-jeebies, right? Especially because it's all trees in the background. Okay, all right. Now, what we're gonna do? Oh no, I didn't want to grab all that. Okay, hold on. I don't want to click on any one thing. I want to do this. Matt, you just missed me talking. You just missed me talking about the Slate truck and trying to like parse my feelings on it. Uh, clearly, you haven't been to a graveyard rave. Neither have I. That's fantastic. Graveyard Rave is a half decent band or album name. The band would be called The Dead Zone. The album would be Graveyard Rave. Or even just call it Raveyard. No, that's the band. Raveyard is the name. Is the band. Uh, uh, Slate trucks seem super cool. I hope people buy them because I feel like they're what everyone has been asking for. Yeah, just to like reiterate my feelings on the Slate trucks. I feel like they're what everyone has been asking for, and they're pretty damn inexpensive, and they make death metal. They could make a lot of things. Death metal's the obvious choice. I certainly can't knock that. But like EDM is another option. Um, uh, I'm just thinking about the they make the music from Buckshot Roulette. Uh, Graveyard makes creepy folk music. Hell yeah. Well, yeah, but you got to put the rave in Raveyard. You know, that's what I think it's missing. That's why I think it has to be like, if not upbeat, it has to have like a serious beat. Uh, what can you do? Can you cross folk and EDM? Uh, this is going to be a band that's breaking the bounds of genre conventions. Uh, clear rave folk music on my own at 3 a.m. No, actually, that was like my car on Apollo multiple times. I was the only awake person. It might not have been at 3 a.m. You cross folk and EDM, you get Lord Huron. Yeah, but like specifically Vide Noir, which my favorite album by them. Although I mean, there's a little bit of that on Long Lost. Uh, let's grab all these. Oh. Listen to music going down. Listen, I'm always listening to music. There's always like my iPod is the default playlist in my car. If you get in my car and you're like, hey, can I play something? I'm almost always going to say yes. But if nobody says, can I play something? I'm just going to grab my iPod. Or, it's already going to be playing, Came from Dean was suffering. I mean, it was a long day and it was a treacherous night. It was not, like, it was fun for me. Uh, I tried to sell Gloria on the Slate truck, and they were like, it's ugly. And I was like, it's boxy but good. Uh, which, I need to sell Gloria on something because uh, for those of you that know of Moose, which is Gloria's car, it is leaving the family. It's been listed for sale. Um, we can't sell it because we need a title for it. Because as of last year, which I wasn't aware of this, as of the beginning of last year, Rhode Island enacted a law that all vehicles must have titles. Previously, if it was older than 20 years, they didn't care. Excuse me. The soda's getting to me. Yeah, if it was older than 20 years, they didn't care. And when you renew your registration for a car that's older than 20 years, they will just send you a title if you don't have one already. Now, I didn't know that, and also we didn't renew that registration because it was bulk. Actually, no. Yeah, well, yeah, because it was bulk. But specifically, it couldn't pass inspection and I didn't care because I wasn't driving it. So I just sort of let the registration lapse, and I didn't think twice. But apparently, if I had just sort of paid somebody off to give it an inspection sticker, or re-registered it as an antique, which is my original plan, then we would have just received a title, received a new copy of the title, which should have done that. Hindsight's 2020. We didn't, so now we have to go and do the thing, which Gloria filled out the form over there. I looked, and I think Gloria filled out too much of the form. Because there's a section for title, and there's a section for replacement license. And they filled out both. So, I appreciate them taking the initiative to fill that paperwork out, but we might have to fill it out again. I'm sorry that your car is still broke, Matt. I hope it is back from the dead soon, or back from the edge if we're talking about Lord Huron. Oh, Gloria's yelling at the dog. And it wouldn't come inside. Yeah, so... What was I saying? I heard from Tony today, and by heard from him, I mean I called him, and he didn't, and he picked up for the first time in like a week. And the reason he hadn't picked up is because he was, like, basically dead, apparently. He was basically dead. He was, like, barely alive. He caught something. Well, I'm going to assume he caught something on the plane back from Florida, because that's where it goes. So, he was like, I lost a ton of weight. I haven't been able to, like, eat or drink anything. Really, and I was like, oh my god. And I could tell on the phone he sounded like on death's door. And so I was just like, alright, shoot, man, take all the time you need. Like, feel better soon. I almost was going to be like, let me know if there's anything I can get you. And it's like, yeah, that's my mechanic. What am I going to... I'm going to go deliver him chicken soup. I'm sorry that you got a boat anchor for a motor. I hope you got your money back. Okay. Who tried to kill God? We have issues. I don't know, coronavirus? Any manner of the flu. Could be norovirus. That's floating around. That's what I had a few months ago, or a couple months ago now. But that was no fun. I mean, playing Railroader, we're laying on an inflatable mattress on the floor of my living room. That was fun. But you know, otherwise not fun. Part of me wants to just stick with this. I'm thinking of the different portions of the graveyard being different, you know, different eras, different sets of gravestones, because we have other ones. We've got, let me organize these. So, like, these and these kind of go together. I don't know what to do with this. I'm just gonna put this over here. I'm gonna put one right here. And then these guys all go together, and then this is a little different. I don't know what to do with this. Maybe this and these. So like these, and these. We are in, I guess this is South Bellington. This is part of South Bellington. This is formerly Dells, yeah, it might be Dells. This actually, because this is Dells. Maybe this part is Dells, and this part was a different place. But I think this all might have been Dells. But now it's South Bellington. So, yeah. So I think this, yeah, this is like a hospital, but it's made out of elementary school. I think that's all the graveyard I got done today. I don't know. It's so exhausting, honestly. The graveyard is exhausting. There's a joke in there somewhere. Oh yeah, we've got to fill in this area now. Alright, let's put this here. Put this here. Damn those raves, yeah. Yeah. And again, just like going down to human POV, it's very spooky. I mean, the blue pushpin absolutely sells it, but looking this way, just out into the woods, yeah, that's don't like that a lot. Should have Gloria come look at this. Tell me what they think about the spookiness. Okay. So it's almost 9. We are most of the way through the episode. We did 2 blocks of town. We did this, and we finished off this. That's gonna be you someday vibes. I mean, yeah. No, not me, actually. I plan to live forever. And then the pushpin. You are here. We are not dying. We are going to live forever. Yeah, I don't know what to do with... So, we've got this area to work on. I'm not entirely sure what to do with this area. It's probably going to be more 3-deckers and a couple of other little things. Maybe a couple of commercial buildings on the corner here. I hope Pushpin Blue is my gravestone. That can be arranged, I'm sure. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm actually going to move this. I'm going to move this to here. I think it pairs well with this building. Excuse me. Can I rotate it to just like face like this? Because originally I was going to leave a bunch of this space open, but I don't think we need to do that. I think that we can get away with this. I don't know, Matt, wasn't the plan always to sacrifice you or something? I can't remember anymore. Oop, no asset selected. I vaguely remember that being a thing for a while, is that Matt was going to get sacrificed. I don't remember the context. But, you know, once you're gone, then we can make you an appropriate headstone out of a blue pushpin. A big one. Big ones. With the letter opener. Yeah, that's right. I don't know where that one was. I think that one might be over there, actually. I was going to say with pineapple something. Straight and spline. Okay, I'm glad you so fondly remember the time where we all said we were going to kill you. We need to get you back to Maine, just irrespective of anything. I need more 2-foot adventures with you people. That is a that is a foundational pillar of like stuff I need to do with my friends is track work on the WWNF. No, but for real, it's fun. Okay, I don't know, let's do more 3-deckers over here. I don't really know what else to put here. Some idiot having a big life event in October. Yeah, well, other than that. But yes, absolutely. That is going to be part of it. Track work and human sacrifice. That is another album title. Okay. Let's do this. Yeah, just make sure they're close enough that you can like see into your neighbor's windows very clearly. That you can actually throw a paper airplane into your neighbor's windows. That's how close it's got to be. Album title, it's all songs of the Hoosic Tunnel. I think the album art would be a hammer striking the head of a spike with like blood coming out of the top of the spike. Or like blood on the spike, but you can't see what the spike is going into. Yeah, that's metal. I always love to get creative juices turning on this show. Also, I miss my wife. I wish Gloria would come in here and bother me. Gloria had a long day at work. Also, there's like a ton of clean clothes on the bed that need to be folded. Yeah, I miss my wife, Tails. I miss her a lot. That's something I was disappointed in. I made that reference at the WWF, and no one got it. And I was like, what? That, of all things, you don't know? And I'm not the right person to show people the Snapcube fandom, so I wasn't like, you're one of today's lucky 10,000. And I didn't even say it out loud, because I'm not going to, like, demean somebody for not getting the joke. But, it was very disappointing. That's my wife, Tails. I miss her a lot. I'll be back. Okay. Let's just grab another white one, I guess. Kinda wish we had more colors. The doors are green. Sounds like the WWF needs more queers in it. I'm not opposed. Yeah, get up here. They're a lovely bunch. You know? They're much more well-rounded than your average volunteer org. Your average railroad volunteer org. Damn. Sounds like you need a slight truck, MK. I don't know how many charges you'd need to get up there, but either way. Uh, it's like I will make an Eggman speech billboard asset. Just it says I've come to make an announcement, and it's just him with the, like the reaching out. Uh, I miss my '95 F-150. Damn, I miss the revolving door of Chevy S10s that my dad had when I was growing up. It is that endeared me to the light truck more than anything else in the world. Um, and I'm glad for that, because just to think that I could be somebody who loves the massive trucks of today. I know I like smaller trucks. Um, okay. Um, you get a slight truck. You put like an unfurling solar panel array in the back, so that you can just park somewhere, charge up. Um, that at least, it seems like that's the kind of thing that's going to be like viable for that. You know what's interesting? And I know that electric cars are very simple, and that's one of the nice things about them. But I think the fact that the air conditioning is going to be that much less of a tremendous pain. I feel like the air conditioning is going to be much simpler. I mean, it's going to be the same basic components as in an average car, but it can be like a whole self-contained thing that's not going to be a problem and not going to be wedged in the engine bay around this and that. Like, I feel like people are always struggling with their ACs in their cars, and considering the longevity of your average home like window AC unit, I feel like no small part of that has to be due to the fact that it's in a car. So I would love to see how the air conditioning, which is undoubtedly going to be the most complicated part of a simple electric car. Like, seriously, the most mechanically complex part of your car is your air conditioning. Um, because of the wonderful thing called the refrigeration cycle. Sorry, I'm sorry, this is not technology connections. Um, yeah, like that's got to that I want to see, like, years on, if the air conditioning system in your average electric car is more robust than the air conditioning system in your average internal combustion car. I kind of want to know how that stacks up 10 years from now. I think it's an interesting thought experiment at the very moment. Um, Less vibrations. Yeah, I know. I don't know why I think it's going to be more resilient, but I just think it is going to be more resilient. I don't know why. I just feel like air conditioning in a car is always such a bugbear. I mean, it is for me, uh, because my old cars no AC, where AC don't work. Um, and the really unfortunate thing is when Tony does like come back from the dead, uh, and fixes the car, I'm gonna have it for like a week, and it's gonna be summer, and I'm gonna be like, "You need to fix the AC. Take this back, please." Uh, a black car with leather seats and no air conditioning is not a lot of fun. Simply install a window AC unit in the passenger seat window. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Um, that's what I'm talking about. Um, or like the dude who put the wood stove in the Volvo. No, no, I didn't mean to show missing assets. I wanted to switch to Surveyor 2.0. I think it was a Swedish dude who put a wood stove in a Volvo. Maybe he was Norwegian. It was Nordic. It has to be. Uh, uh, Must never use the AC, just windows down. Well, I'm jealous. I like the air conditioning. I live without it, but I definitely miss it when it's not around. Uh, yeah, and cloth seats make life better. If I had the cloth seats, because I have the tan interior, and the other car that does have the cloth seats has the dark blue interior, which doesn't help. If I had the cloth seats, I might be a little happier. You know, I might be suffering a little bit less, and Gloria definitely would be suffering less. Um, imagine wearing shorts. Yeah, I mean, yeah, wear shorts. It's comfy. Um, Also, shorts. I'm gonna wear a kilt, uh, in the traditional way. I have no like. It's cultural appropriation for me, but I'ma do it anyway. Um, it's an Italian kilt. It's like a regular kilt, only sexier, uh, and the food is better. Um, oh, that's way too much. Alice, please don't. Listen, it would only be the second time tonight that I'm huge and the babes go wild got brought up. Uh, I'll put a little patch of dirt behind each of these. This space is honestly enormous. It's way too big. And we're gonna have to put up some walls and fences and stuff like that. Um, this, I think we're gonna make lemonade here. Hang on. So if I scoot this back to here, and I turn this like this, what I kind of want to do is connect this through here. There we go. And I want metal fence wall thing. I want maybe a brick wall for certain areas, but I want a metal fence wall thing. Corrugated iron fence. Um, Back to there, and then yeah. All right, hang on. Now I need my brick because I need to do this first. Chain link fence. Where do I have like a nice brick wall? Not that one. I said a nice brick wall. Yeah, like this. Um, okay. Okay. That can go there, and we'll try to make these parallel, just for the aesthetic of it, just for the aesthetic, but also like survey would do this. And I wanted this to be a sort of a tight squeeze up against this wall, so I'll move that over. I'll make this here, and I think inside of this is going to be either all dirt, all gravel, or something in between. I think I need to find, yeah, like you, right here. Give me this, hog 30. Hog rider. This right here, which is not a very good looking texture. It's very low, like low pixel count, or low definition is really what I mean. Are these two buildings? No, they're one building. Okay. Sometimes when you're building an urban area, you really need to sell it by jamming things in together, by enforcing the idea that space is at a premium, so people are using every inch of it. And you need to do that by using every inch of your space. Whether that be by packing the roads and things all super close to one another, or by uh, filling in the gaps like this. And saying like, okay, yeah, no, it's clear that people are jockeying for space in this arrangement. What's next? And maybe this can have like a patio. I'm thinking there could be an opening to the fence. but also you could have, this this gravel road run out to here. Run out to the main road. It comes back to what I was talking about very early in the show, with sort of making everything look like a diorama. And you can do that. The best route builders do that and have a fully fledged world. Um, I'm more focused on the fully fledged world and less on the detail. Um, but still, I think what I'm going to do to fill a lot of the rest of this up. So this has got to be like patio. No? Airport. Turn the scale way down and fix the direction. There we go. How about that? That's interesting. We haven't used that before. Yeah, this is a very wide block. We definitely could have done better with the width of these. In fact, maybe I should have broken these two into three like I have before, like I did for the row houses. Because that really helped us learn block spacing. I think, a lot of this route is a testament to how far I've come as a route builder over the course of the last several years. But, yeah, and to think, I was building this, in college, I think. When did we start doing this? When's the first episode? It's back there somewhere. It's a long time ago. Okay. Let's get some grass splines in here to sort of round this out. Yeah, 2017 is what I thought. We have been at this for 8 years. It's a long damn time. And admittedly, not a ton of route to show for it, but we have something. And like I said at the top of the show, and like I said before I started the show, this is about the journey. It is not about reaching a destination. It's not about finishing the route, really. It is about building the route. Because if I can never have the thing that I want, if I can never have the thing that I want, which is the perfectly finished route that works all the time, and works like 24 hours and is fully automated, I can keep working towards that. I'll never get there, but at least I have that goal in mind. Yeah, the real Tolveren Peninsula was the friends we made along the way. Absolutely. I dropped that in a meeting earlier today. I dropped that at work. I cannot remember the context, but I was just like, oh, I was under the impression that the real lesson was the friends we made along the way. And I got a couple of chuckles. I wish I could remember the context. It was pretty darn funny. I thought so anyway. I am a mastermind of interjecting dumb stuff in my weekly traffic team meeting calls. We have a new member of the team, and she's up in Maine, so we're very rarely going to see her. But she said, oh, I'll be down in Boston on the 13th. I'll be at the Boston office on the 13th. And my boss goes, oh, maybe we could get together and have a little, have a lunch for everyone. And so I just took that and ran with it. I was like, oh, that's great. Yeah, you got my attention when you said lunch. And then a pause. And then, oh, and also I would like to meet Paige. And that got some laughs. And then we went back and forth, and she's like, yeah, no, I'm not too far away. And expected the next question to be, how far away are you? And I said, I have a question. And I see her, perk up. And I said, how often are we allowed to eat lunch on the company's dime? It's like my head is in a very specific place. I'm gonna be home unless there's food, and then I'm gonna show up. Uh, so I thought it was the funniest person on earth. Which I also thought like my report that I gave today, which oh man, I wish I could talk more about the Reading Turnback project. Like anyone here would know what the hell I'm talking about. They are um they're trying to do the MBTA is trying to do 30-minute headways inside of Route 128. If you go to Google Maps and you look at Route 128 as it curves its way around Boston, which it's also Route 95 for a good portion of its length, I-95, as it curves its way around Boston, uh, the MBTA wants to make everything inside of that zone 30-minute headways on the trains, which, if you're a European, you're like scoffing at that. But if you're the MBTA, or if you're a Bostonian, it's like, oh shoot, like that's kind of great. I think so. Anyway, but the residents of Reading, Massachusetts, do not want it. They don't want more trains. Uh, I so they've been fighting with the MBTA because they don't want more trains, which is dumb on so many levels. But that's a different conversation. And so I've been tasked with sifting through crossing data to see how much time can be saved to appease the residents of Reading, Massachusetts. If you're listening to this and you know someone from Reading, Massachusetts, tell them to show up to the public meetings and advocate for the train. Because right now the only people that show up are the people that don't want it. So, like, I did a lot of digging on that project. Honestly, I don't have too much to report. Like, I felt like I was going to be able to talk more about it. But really, I just got to have a meeting with the MBTA people today, and I got to sort of show off my data parsing. And that was a lot of fun. Like, honestly, I had fun in that meeting. I very much enjoyed it. Even though I was going back and forth with the MBTA guy about, like, no, this is clearly a pattern. He's like, no, it doesn't have to be a pattern. It could just be like a thing that happened a couple times. So, we might not see eye to eye on that, but either way, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that meeting very much. That was not a town meeting again. That was just with the MBTA. Garnish McAdam. You. Oh, wrong one. I can't believe I went and placed a blue pushpin here to remind myself to do this intersection and then just sat down and immediately did it. Also, I love the way this looks. I can't wait to... Goodbye. I can't wait to be able to look down this road and see everything, like, I need to get rid of some of these rulers because God, they're taking up all sorts of space in terms of visual. Look at that. That hurts to look at. That honestly kind of making me nauseous. I don't know why. Speaking of making me nauseous, so there's something that's been passed around the Stargate subreddit, which is a movie that's coming out that the name escapes me. It's directed by Michael Shanks, but I learned today that it's not the same Michael Shanks that was in Stargate. I was very excited because I was like, oh shoot, Michael Shanks is a director? I didn't know that. Apparently Amanda Tapping wants to get into directing. But that's beside the point. It's a different Michael Shanks. It got passed around, everyone was like, oh my god, Michael Shanks is directing. And even Gloria was like, we gotta go see this movie. Because Stargate. And I was like, damn, I would love to. I don't enjoy body horror though. And then I found that it's not the same Michael Shanks. So now I am absolved. I don't need to go. I don't want to go. Okay. Oh shoot, this isn't gonna work. I need something else other than, you know what? I will do this, and then I will replace it with the kind of pavement slab that I need, the width that I need to make it fill in this gap. Which is going to be like a 3 point something. I'll put down a 3.6. I'll just put it over there so I can grab it. Or maybe a 2.4 will do. Yeah, 2.4 will do. Back to Surveyor 2. And then... Da-da-da. Also, I apologize when I just like ramble and repeat myself all the time. Sometimes I'm not sure if, if everyone that was here to hear it is... Everyone that was here now is there previously. Like, and I want to make sure that people hear what I have to say on a given subject. But also I just forget, or I ramble, or I talk myself in circles. Or like, I'm definitely guilty of all of that. Because it's hard, and I feel like I am far dumber than I was 7 years ago, number one. But number two, it's hard to think about what I'm doing and also think about what I'm saying. Like, anyone who has made Let's Plays will tell you this. It is, see, there it happens. It's much harder to play and think and speak than it is to just play or just speak or just whatever. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. I'm certain that part of it is the fact that I have grown and learned, and like I know, the Dunning-Kruger curve. Like, I know that there's more that I don't know. So I feel like I have missed out. Is this guy T-posing? Oh no. Oh my god, can someone... I want to get the Brett model ported into Trainz. I need to know if I can make that happen. I need to talk to Mark. That seems like fun. Anyway, next time I talk to him. I don't know if he's back from Australia yet. I think they made one for Century of Steam. I think there's gonna be a bread in Century of Steam. Yes, I think so. I vaguely remember this, like being in a conversation somewhere. I don't think I have seen it. I don't know if it's confirmed to exist. I just vaguely remember there being some discussion of 3D scans, maybe. So, if such a thing does exist, I need it in Trainz. If it doesn't exist, then oh well, I made something up. But Mark just posted a video a few minutes ago about the Mount Rainier where he just got back. Hey, honestly, like, I was gonna say, yeah, I have like I don't know. I gotta talk to him about the trading cards. Trading cards are well on their way though. I'm mostly waiting for email responses from people, about photos, and maybe this weekend, if we're lucky, we'll get a poll out on the Discord for the next batch of trading cards. But don't expect those anytime soon, because we're going to do that, and then I'll make the batch, and then we'll do another poll, and then I'll make the batch. I'll have them all printed at once, which is going to be like $1,000 worth of printing. Probably more than that, actually, depending on if I can find a good coupon code. And then they'll go all here, and I'll have 1,500 trading cards on my kitchen table, and I will sort them all out. Trading cards, but instead of trains, it's ships. I mean, you could do that. You just need a good database. Hi, Vankman. Hi, Vankman Cat. You're a good kitty. Mossy Mug, tell Luca and Phoebe I said hi. Okay, what do I don't know what I want to put in these next blocks here. They sleep in. Aw. If only they could have done that while I was there. Oh my god, I have so many trees. Okay. Yo. Yo, wait a minute. Hold on, I have an idea. I've officially reached the point of losing it. Alright, 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 alright. Fun time's over. Back to work. Cracks whip. Visions of Ever Given, yeah. Oh my god, I can't believe there's so much of this town done. We've got so much more to go, but there's so much done, and it makes me very happy. I want to do this. This is the largest single block remaining, and I have no idea what to put here. Part of me wants to just do, like, warehouses. I don't really know why, but you know what's something else we could do? We could put a school over here, especially because the pool is right there. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I get rid of this road and just put a big school here. Um, Luca turns the corner in the room, and as soon as she sees him, she stops purring. That's great. Dormitory school. Oh, interesting. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have like a prototype for that. Um, Dormitory school. Search filter, please. This is going to be a newer one. A boarding school. Yeah. What is this? Wow, that's kind of cool building. It's an interesting shape, too. Look up Linden Hall in my town. Linden Hall. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's too small. That's... Oh, wait. No, it's not. Wait, hold on. Let me see. Can I see this on the map? Is this... Wait, is this whole thing it? Holy crap. I saw a photo and it was just like the front of the one little building, and I thought, oh, it's little. No, it's acres and acres. Holy crap. That's too small. Also, apparently, I'm in the middle of like the satellite view is in the middle of a street fair. Too small. Yeah, it was too big. It's a great building, but the texture is just off. They have horse stables. Yeah, this is a strange building. This would have been like brand... Like, honestly, they would have built that in the 90s. I was kind of thinking... No, not that. Secondary school. Maybe like a campus. Welding school. Oh my god. That's huge. Alright, no, they wouldn't do that in this area. Space is too much at a premium. Whoa. Whoa, this is like... This is some Soviet architecture. That's kind of cool. Older high school. Oh, I used that. That's part of the hospital. Some of these are quite cool. I do think I need something... Yeah, this goes good. Giving rehab clinic. Yeah, kinda. I see it. This is giving wrong doot again. Vibes. Don't need that. We don't need no education. I have a bunch of elementary schools, but not like enough high schools. And the elementary schools are all like huge and spread out. I guess kids aren't great at stairs, so that's why. I guess my elementary school was the same way. Um, Tuesday and if yeah. This is very much my elementary school. This is very, like very right for that. Um, Me. uh, let's see. What can I do here? I want enough of a setback from both the railroad and the the street out front. And I also want I'm going to get rid of some of these roads. So, hmm. We need enough space for like a blacktop too, I think. Um, I'll move this down here. This honestly gives like pool house vibes, so I'll pair this with the pool. Um, can I have a field? Or well, where did that big playground go? There it is. Oh, that's not that big. I thought that was bigger. Um, let's scoot this back to like here. And then we will put like a pickup and drop off area over here, I guess. I'll put the playground over here by the tracks. And then maybe I'll put a blacktop right there. And then maybe I will put something else over here, some other school thing. Oh wow, this is a much smaller building than I had expected. It's a really nice building though. I don't want to use that here. It's too nice. Let's see. See, I liked that auditorium building that we just used, that we just went by. That's also really cool, but does not fit the vibe I'm going for. It's not the correct era. What about you? Whoa. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no, it's one of these. It's one of these with the center point like 6 miles away from the rest of the building. Oh no. Hmm. Can I kit bash these actually? Can I make these two together? Like, it won't look great because they are the same kind of building, or they are very different kinds of building, rather. They're not the same kind of building, is what I was trying to say. The only thing that kills me is the fact that these windows stick out, and I can't make it line up properly. It's a very long building. Let's see what we can do in Surveyor 2.0. Scoot this over. Give it a little bit more space. We'll fix the playground location later. Actually, what I might be able to do... Oh no, it's over there. Ugh! Here's what I'll do. I will click on this, and then we can rotate around something that's within the same galactic cluster as what we're aiming for. Oh, sugar. Yeah, original building and then a huge extension is exactly the kind of vibes I was looking for. Alright, never mind. Because of the center point of this being off in Miami somewhere, I think we'll just do it by hand. Oh god, it's so much worse by hand. Um. Urgh! I'm gonna have to get this, like, kind of where I want it, and then move the other building. Uh. Oh, oh, you know what? That actually kind of helped. And then I wanted to put this in the back, like this is the auditorium or something, you know. Or I could just put this here and make it its own thing. Uh, my experience of this stream has been greatly improved by playing the Lionel Traintown Deluxe theme quietly in the background. That's so good. Um, that's so good. I love that so much. Um, hey, whatever you can do. Um, whatever you can do to make this palatable, I understand. Okay. I think I want to scoot it a little bit more towards the tracks. A little bit more to the north. Just a little. Like that. Okay. And then I'm going to bring this up just up to like the property line of the school. And then you know what? This can be like a parking lot back here. Like a big old parking lot. I wasn't tuning into these out of pity previously. I don't know. I wouldn't tell you not to if you were. Okay. I don't want to have the driveway in the middle of the blacktop. So, what is the... Okay, so there's no... I don't know, like, maybe this is the main entrance? I don't know what the main entrance to this is supposed to be. But either way, we'll maybe consider that it's at this end. And, or maybe it's here. I would guess it's this right here. And then this would be teacher parking back here. And then this would be like... this would be like... You know, the blacktop play area. Hi, Lafayette. Baby? Hi, baby. Nice. Thank. Yeah, Venkman's here for one reason. He is H-word. Oh. Can you see Venkman? I don't know. No. There he is. Venkman! Venkman, are you hungry?
And he's down.
He's got so much mouth. Hi, baby. Love you.
It's not even 10 o'clock, bro.
He's so upset. He needs food immediately. I got the mac and cheese that I told myself I would get next time. And what? You got all stuff all over your shirt.
It's old. It's from hair dye.
It's still all over your shirt. And then I got a Hawaiian pizza, which was free because they sent me a thing that was like, that delivery wasn't what we hoped it would be. I don't remember. Like, I didn't complain, but they just decided to give me a free pizza anyway. And originally I just got the free pizza and a thing of bread bites because they were $2.99, and I was spending $2.99 for like $20 worth of food, and Domino's was like, you cannot deliver. We can't deliver to you unless your total comes to over $15. So I went, oh shoot, okay, well let me get my mac and cheese then, because I do kind of like the Domino's mac and cheese, although there was not much in that box this time, in the container this time. They kind of shortchanged me. But I figured, you know what? If I'm getting that, I might as well use like the 2 for $6.99 deal.
Mhm.
So I'll get another thing, and that's when I wrote you like, that's when I wrote you what I wrote you like, hey, do you want me to get like if you wanted a chicken or a whatever I said, a sandwich, like let me know what you would want. And then I waited, and then I was like, I gotta start under construction soon. I'm just gonna order it anyway. So I just got the spinach and feta cheesy bread, which is underwhelming. But I know you don't love pepperoni, so I figure you'd like spinach and feta. Um, Obviously that's not a main course, but there's still like most of a pizza in there, and bread bites.
Yeah, I went to Wendy's at like 6.
Oh, okay.
So
I wasn't sure if you had eaten.
I'm not like incredibly hungry, but I'll probably like go eat something later
What time do you work tomorrow?
in the morning.
Well, you probably shouldn't eat anything later. Just saying. It's already 10 o'clock. I'm done eating. As much as I kind of want ice cream, I'm done eating. Gotta get my fast into gear. Although technically, the soda is not part of a fast because it's sugary, so it still gets your metabolism going. I mean, you ate dinner at 6. That's not bad.
Yeah, I ate at like 6:12.
Chicken sandwich. Okay. Um. Okay, baby. Chicken jockey. I'm gonna set the route on fire. You say chicken jockey, and I cut directly to the old locomotion intro of sending the train off the end of the world. Okay, we're gonna need some. Oh, right, I said here would be like the drop off area. So. Gloria goes into the bathroom, and Lafayette is immediately at the door, grumbling because he misses Gloria, and that's absolutely wonderful. I love this dumb dog so much. Lafayette, I promise you they are coming out. They'll be back. Is this the no sidewalk? Yeah. This is the one sidewalk. The Stanley Cup is in my way. I want to move that. Put it over there. Yeah, the real. Yeah. The Back to the Future, fire trail thing. Bankman, shut up. I love you, kitty, but you're very screamy right now. Nope, wrong way. 50-50 shot, always get it wrong. Remember when we were batting 1,000 for 50-50s for this entire year? Like the first two I did? Not so anymore. Flint and Steel, yeah. Did anyone hear about they're doing a special re-release that's the Block Party edition for like sing along and meme along, that's honestly like I don't know, on the one hand it's like, oh, this is going to be a absolute like actual pandemonium, but on the other hand maybe they should have done that to start with, uh, and then the chaos would have been condensed to like specific showings. I don't think anyone realized how absurd of a meme the Minecraft movie was going to be. I mean, yeah, I feel bad for the theater employees, but like, when it's if it's between it happening in specific showings or it happening in every showing, at least in the specific showings you can prepare for it a little better. Um, you can say like, okay, yeah, these are going to be like leave a little extra turnover time for the theater. You know, have an extra person on shift that day to help out with cleaning up. You know, and that still doesn't mean you get to throw popcorn. Um, you know, it doesn't mean you're allowed to make a mess. It shouldn't anyway. Uh, but if you're gonna like sing along and laugh along and meme along and chicken jockey, uh, yeah, and honestly, yeah, no, seriously, the most redeeming quality of a Minecraft movie is the fact that it's very clear that Jack Black and Jason Momoa are having the time of their lives. Uh, like I thought almost everything Jason Momoa said was just hilarious. Uh, the line that got the like it didn't convince me to see it, but the line that got me more than any other line in the theater was, "That's why I made him, Buck Chuckets," and I just lost it. I lost it. Uh, I love them so. I love that so much. Uh, don't worry, dude. Buckets are useful here. Uh, I think the story is kind of like the plot itself is reasonably like at first glance watertight, so that's decent, right? The writing is kind of abysmal. I I'm not gonna sing the praises of the Minecraft movie. Really, I'm also not gonna dunk on it because it's just goofy, and that's fine. That's what they came here to do. And yeah, it got passed through 27 different writers or whatever. So it's clearly not a coherent piece, but it's still a lot of fun. Um, and they did an okay job of translating Minecraft stuff. Something else that really got me, something that really amused me, was and I know we talked about Minecraft the Minecraft movie a ton last week, but uh, the the creeper farm bit where the minecart rolls to the stop and they're just surrounded by creepers. Steve's like, "Oh no, my creeper farm," and I was like, "Yeah, that's a thing." Uh, call the writing modern. I don't know if that's accurate. I mean, it's accurate as far as technically correct, the best kind of correct. It is indeed modern writing. Although, how modern is it? The writing was started, 10 years ago. Uh, there's plenty of modern films with very well done writing. Uh, oh, excuse me. This is not aligned properly. Yeah, I don't think it should be an insult. Okay, let's raise this just a little bit. Hi, cat. Uh, yeah, you know. Uh, speaking of modern, I watched an immodern movie. I watched overly sarcastic productions thing on mummies, and there's a whole bit in there about I think it's the 1932 mummy film, and there's some non there's some stuff that's very not kosher in the modern era. It's a very much a product of its time, but it's otherwise like a really well written movie and like a well done movie. Uh, which I like that. I find that interesting. It's interesting how the craft of theater has evolved over time, but there were still some people back in the day that really had it nailed down. Um, the craft of filmmaking, I should say, not theater. Theater is something else. I also remember being underwhelmed when I watched Casablanca. I was also kind of too young for it. Probably I did not care. Um, I didn't get it. I wasn't following it. It was just like, oh, okay, there's a movie. I understand this is like one of the most famous and epic, like fantastic movies of all time, like seriously classic film. I'm not excited. I don't care who these people are. I don't understand what's going on. Whatever. And I feel like if I gave it another chance now, I would probably enjoy it. But I do understand that it seems like a movie that's set up to be fairly underwhelming. It's not one that gets its praises sung for being like this masterpiece of artistic cinema. It's just like it was a really good movie of its time. Yeah, it's something that is not astounding, but has still commanded a space in the public lexicon, and is just like it's there. It's there. It's good because everyone knows it. Uh, so that's something. It's a different kind of thing. It's not I don't know. I was trying to pull out it's not like Interstellar or I'm only thinking of Christopher Nolan movies because I saw a thing about Christopher Nolan movies earlier. Um, there are plenty of modern day masterworks of cinema um, that will stand the test of time. But it's interesting what will stand the test of time that is not a masterwork. At least that doesn't feel like one. Um, I did not care for The Godfather. Uh, such as a Minecraft movie. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, yeah. That did cross my mind. It will definitely. I I don't know how much it's going to be quoted you know, in 50 years, or I mean, when did Casablanca came out? Probably almost 100 years ago now, right? 1942. So like over 80 years ago. Uh, you know what? I've never seen "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou," and it was kind of insane watching the track crew, specifically Dan and one of the other guys, just start reciting the entire film from memory. Just like they started going, and there was no sign of stopping. We were like in hour 3 of standing in the rain doing nothing. It felt like uh, on Saturday, and they just went off, and it was honestly surreal. It was surreal. That's the only way I can describe it. Um, so there's something. I feel like I need to see that movie. I'll be showing the Minecraft movie to my kids. I need to. Those memes like I'm gonna tell my kids this is blank. Who you're gonna show them Steve and you're gonna tell them is who. I'm gonna tell my kids this is Humphrey Bogart. uh, it's possible I hallucinated it. It is possible. It was that kind of day. I'm gonna be honest. Um, we there we go. We went down there. We stood in the rain. We shoveled some gravel. We waited in the rain for longer. 9 broke down. We had to get rescued. Like the mag phone wouldn't work. Uh, we didn't have a box car or any like an enclosed car to be in. I'm gonna show my kids the Minecraft movie and tell them that it's "Oh brother, where art thou?" Yeah. Uh, yeah. That's exactly it. That's it. Um, binge the Hornblower miniseries again, then watch Casablanca. Well, that depends. If that was something that you liked, that doesn't count. Um, I'm trying to decide like something that I didn't like, or something that I don't think I would like, uh, versus I'm trying to find that. I'm telling my kids that's Chris Christie. Matt, that's so good. Matt, I don't know where you got that one from, but like I don't know where you just pulled that out of, but that's perfect. Uh, that's the joke of the night. Uh, Hi, Fankman. I know you're hungry. Yep, scram. All right, so we decided that we're gonna put an elementary school here. That's good. That's good. We've done that. It's just about time to wrap up. I'm not sure what to do with the rest of this, so we will figure it out. Obviously, chasing his tail. Um, Effie, get it. Get that tail. No, now he stopped doing it. Now he's not gonna keep doing it. Do it again. Do it again. He's like, is it dinner time? Is it dinner time? Oh, for God's sake. He hasn't eaten in hours. You do not want to know where I pulled that from? Oh, no. It's like the Salisbury steaks in Rick and Morty. Take a crap. Dean. I would love to live in your world for like 10 minutes. Okay, there we go. Anywho. See there, I said it again. Well, we got some good work done today. The town continues to grow. And the graveyard. Let's go stare longingly into the graveyard again. And contemplate our own mortality. You can see the graveyard from the hospital. That's got to be good vibes. Longingly. Yeah. Christy gonna show up in your nightmare now? Oh god, he's here to close your bridge. Anyway, I'll see y'all next week, I hope. Unless I end up in the graveyard. This is the Admiral.